Yeah, I wasn't sure. Are you playing it or what are you doing? Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Lummy Sports Show. All of that was over the air, Lummy, by the way. You had my mic on. Yeah, whatever. Whatever. Let's get this thing started. It's the Lummy Sports Show.
The time. Sorry.
You weren't on at all, Lummy.
Nope, I wasn't.
Jesus.
Hold on. It's 12 o'clock. We tried to do 12 o'clock.
Jeez,
It's vacation.
Man.
Vacation.
We shouldn't have even done it. The
No,
way you're
Brian, there's
out
a
of it.
lot of breaking
You didn't even
news.
let me know the show was going on.
I apologize.
Yeah,
I
this has
thought
been
we
a
were
mess,
good.
man. It's been
But
a
it's
mess.
okay. Listen, everyone likes your shirt. They wanted to know if you came straight from the Bucks practice.
No,
with your Buccaneers office gear.
Yeah.
We're on all,
looking like a normal adult should, not dressed up in fanboy cosplay. Yeah.
So is that what I am right now with my Air Bubba shirt?
No, you have to wear that.
It's my work shirt.
Yeah, that's a work shirt. That's mandatory wear. Look, if you worked at a place and they said you have to wear a football jersey on, like some places when they serve on Sundays, sports bars and stuff, they force their employees to wear a sports jersey.
Hinstar with 5,600 bits.
That's acceptable.
Yes, sir.
813-90-BUBBA, 813-90 Bubba. Call in. Brian's been just eager to make sure that he tells everyone that's going into fantasy football and the football, don't wear your jerseys out and about.
Well, you can, but if you're kind of a douche.
You can, but you run the risk of Brian kicking your fucking ass if he sees
That's
you out
it,
there.
man.
That is 100%.
I personally don't care. I just, I'm very passionate about it from an opinion standpoint, but what you do on your own is what you do on your own,
I have a question for Brian and Rhett. I think Rhett, though, agrees.
Yeah, Rhett's also here. Hey, Lummy. Hey, Brian. Hey, Sports Show. How's everybody doing?
We really
Rhett,
didn't do a full intro.
I know. Come on, Rhett. Calm down, buddy.
Very sloppy.
Yes.
Oh, it's okay. It's vacation. I'm not in a bad mood.
Exactly, Rhett. I mean, you got your
Just
Cannon
letting
Fire
it known
podcast.
that I am also sitting here ready to talk about sports.
Rhett's got his whole
People
Cannon
see
Fire.
your
Cannon Fire.
Your filthy ginger face on the screen.
Goddamn
Thank you,
right
Rhett,
they
for
do.
joining us here. We
Thank
always
you for
love
having
you.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to say some breaking news came out of the Bucks training camp today, which, by the way, my beautiful wife and little Walker were attending today. But Rhett, why don't you tell us about the breaking news that came out of there?
Well, it turns out it's kind of a non-story at this point. It developed and then wrapped up fairly quickly. But just a couple of weeks after losing their starting center, Ryan Jensen, to a leg injury at training camp, backup center Ryan Hainsey left practice today on a golf cart after suffering a leg injury. Ian Rappaport just told everybody it's more than likely just cramps, and it seems like the Buccaneers camp is echoing a lot of those statements. So, crisis averted.
Babyface said, if they're not rolling a cart out onto the field, then the guy's probably not that hurt at this stage. They're not taking chances with these guys. They're not letting them walk off and limp off of fields. This isn't like the game. So I wasn't too worried about it, but I'm glad to hear he's okay.
I think a lot of people wanted to panic because 99% of the reporters, the beat reporters on Twitter, which is where you go to get your Bucks news first, everybody said carted off. And when you hear the term carted off, initially I think Bucks fans are still going to have some fresh trauma from their starting center being carted off. But
yeah, Joey Knight, I think, reported that he was helped off the field.
Context is so important because you can say carted off, and 99% of people are going to think that he is laying on his back in the back of the cart, not able to move, which wasn't the case. They rolled out the golf cart. He walked into it himself, sat down in the passenger seat, took a ride to the back of the facility.
Yeah, because it's not a short walk.
They did it with Mike Evans.
Cramps.
Yeah, they did it with Mike Evans earlier this week. They've done it with some other guys who dealt with cramps, and there's other guys who have not practiced due to cramps. So, shit happens this time of year. It's hot outside. It's a joint practice today, so everybody's trying to kick a little bit more ass than usual. Hainsey should be fine. I don't think the Bucks should have to turn around and worry about signing anyone just yet.
So that makes I have two questions to ask you guys, but we got our 5,600 bit caller, Hinstar's on the line. 704.
Wow. The Bucks are cramping. What a bunch of puppies.
Okay, well, listen, you're in Carolinas.
Cramping.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about Christian McCaffrey that literally can't
Fucking
even
cramps nowadays.
Christian McCaffrey can't even make it through a season, buddy.
I'm cramping. Oh, my hamstring hurts. I'm cramping. What's going on in Tampa? I thought you guys were like men or something down there. Oh, jeez.
I tell you, we can't all stay healthy and win 4 games a year like they do up in Carolina.
That is very true. Good point, Red.
I mean,
They
you
don't,
stay
I mean,
healthy-
it'd be funny if they actually stayed healthy, but none of their players stay healthy either. So I don't know.
It's a proven formula. If you can stay healthy throughout camp, you're guaranteed to maybe not make the playoffs. It's okay.
It's about right. So listen, I'm packing up. I'm heading down to Florida for a couple of weeks. So real quick, I got a question. What is the worst sports cliche saying you hate?
That's a good one. There's a lot of them.
Like if I can just say one real quick and then I gotta go. When they say it's like they're playing a different sport.
What?
What? I never heard that
When
one.
they say that cliche saying, it's like, ooh, there's a sport out there. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I don't know, man. I would say like one game at a time. A win's a win. You know, like
Or they're giving 102%.
how about the best defense is a good offense?
Oh, miserable.
I mean, the best defense is a good offense isn't terrible.
No,
I
but
think
it's better than
game,
whatever Hinstar
one
said.
game at a time. Yeah, I don't even know what Hinstar's talking about.
no,
But one
either.
game at a time is probably yeah. Of course, you're taking it one game at a time. You can't do two day by day. We're just doing it day by day here.
And a win. And
You're not skipping days. You're not going from Monday to Friday.
How about a win's a win? I mean, of course, a win's a win.
You know, I think one that bothered me.
A win's a win applies. I think that's less of an annoyance cliche to me because that applies when somebody's nitpicking about you guys almost blew it there in the fourth quarter. Yeah, but a win's a win. We got the win. It's essentially saying we got the win anyways. So that's to me not as annoying. Taking it one day at a time or game at a time is pretty stupid.
We played our best game to have a chance to win. How about that one?
Nah,
Brian?
that's
really
not too bad.
You played
I
your
would-
best to lose though.
No, we play our best game and gave ourselves a chance to win. That's not cliche. That's just a very generic answer.
You've never heard that when they say it's like they're playing a different sport out there, like when the announcers say that? Oh, my God.
In regards to what?
Oh, it must be a Carolina
Any
Panther
sport, like, even like with-
announcers that they're talking about. Their
No,
guys
like-
are playing
say,
soccer
like,
out
maybe,
there.
Like, no, I like when they see it on tennis. You hear it on basketball. You hear it on football when they're
we
talking
don't
about
watch
like
tennis.
defensive. Oh, look at the blocking. It's like he's playing a different sport. I don't know.
I don't know.
annoying.
I don't think you do know, and
Yeah,
I don't know either.
I don't think any of us know.
You haven't even given a really good example of it being used.
Who you guys did. That's why I call you guys and ask you the tough questions.
Tough questions. Yeah, you can make something up, and we still don't know
No, I
anything
mean
about
the
it.
question was good. Your
Yes.
made up cliche.
Yeah.
It's not made up. I've heard. Oh my God, you guys.
What was it
clearly
again? Hold on.
I
I'm gonna
It's
Google
like he's
it. I'm gonna
it's
Google
like
it.
he's playing
It's
a
like
different
they're playing
sport out there.
Sport, yeah. Like when they talk about like an athlete playing, like baseball or like a pitcher or something. They're never like they're
So what-
achieving like
Hold
awesome
on.
things. They're like, it's like he's playing a different sport.
Hold on. I Google. Now this is. There's not that
There's
phrase coming up
nobody
here.
really knows that as a cliche.
Yeah.
That is your Hinstar skewed. That's just hater internet you have. There.
Listen, no, that must be just something that you in Rhode Island talk about because you have no major franchises up in Rhode Island, okay?
Hey, we got the Pawtucket Red Sox.
Yeah, exactly.
Never mind, we got the Providence Bruins.
Yeah, well, for the weekend at the regatta.
Yeah, listen, Hinstar, we appreciate your 5,600 bits, but, we appreciate your topic, but your cliche was completely awful.
I know it's going to sound cliche, but it's like you're it's like you're calling into a different show out there.
Hey, listen, Hinstar, hang up your cleats, buddy. You're done, all right? We appreciate it. Wow. I mean, we have an unavailable caller? Do we take the chance and take number
the
2?
chance.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, number unavailable. Is this a Tampa Terry call? We're unavailable.
that?
Hello?
It's Buzzy.
Hey, what's up,
Oh, Buzzy.
Buzzy?
How you doing there?
What's up, pimp?
I'm missing Babyface on the morning show. You ever going to come back to the morning show, brother?
I'm waiting for the invite from Bubba. I think I'm scheduled to be on the 28th with Regina, but yeah, apparently, whatever. It's all good.
It's messed up. They couldn't take the heat there, brother.
Buzzy, where are you at right now?
I'm not going to disagree with you. They couldn't take the heat. That's kind of cliche, but I like it. Yeah, where are you trucking at, Buzzy? How's the ass out there?
Oh, he hung up. Buzzy hung up.
I don't think that was Buzzy.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I have my suspicions.
I do too, which is why I had both hands on
Tampa
both
Terry?
buttons. No, it was not Tampa Terry, but it was not Buzzy Bob. But
Who do you think it was? Who's your suspicion?
I have no idea what the guy's name was, but I was actually waiting for maybe a ass-eating comment from him. But you know what? Let's move on from that. But thank you for the call. Marking out to Babyface. Maybe that was your father-in-law or father. Or
they wouldn't mark out to me. They hate me more than you guys do.
We love you, Brian. You're the man. But I wanted to ask both of you. Well, two things now. I guess the first point, we can talk about the Heat now that we were talking about the Bucks. Isn't it odd? Now,
the Miami Heat?
No, the Heat here. You know how everyone's now complaining?
That's what I thought, too.
It's a
that
weird
was the
segue.
And
Good.
then
Now that we got the Bucks talk out of the way, let's talk about that Heat off-season talk.
No,
part
I meant
of me was like, when the fuck have we ever talked about the Miami Heat?
No. Well, now that we got the Heat here in Tampa, like everyone's cramping up and all these different things at that different temps. I don't think it's really that much hotter than it was in the early 90s. Is it just the way that players are training and like being brought up now? Because you got to think, Brian, you remember.
No, it's
I'm
muscle.
Not sure
it's muscle mass. It's these guys are carrying around more muscle mass than ever, so they have less fat, which means less water in their body, which means more cramping. It's very simple. It's science, and it's not that hard. The football players now are more muscular and leaner than they've ever been at any point in time. Period.
Well, because I was going to say, do you guys remember when the $1 place, you could say it, would be over by the airport?
Yeah, and it was a fucking shithole.
And the weights were outside. They were rusty, so they would go from practicing outside to working out outside, and you never really heard this much like cramping and things like that.
Well, you also have a different level of coverage of the sport now versus in the 90s. I mean, you've got 20 reporters, 50 reporters at every single practice, whereas in the past you had 2 or 3 guys there reporting on it.
Yeah, but you never really and
you didn't get the instant blow by blow like this. Cramping for Hainsey wouldn't have been a story. It wouldn't have even been reported on because they would have gotten 2 minutes later the actual result was, it was just a cramp, and they wouldn't have reported on a cramp because a cramp is a natural part of practice in football and training in the summer in Florida.
But what you're kind of saying is the athlete's different, though. The athlete is a lot different than...
Partially, and the other part is the instantaneous updates that we are entitled to receive now that we were never able to get before. Whereas it would be a non-story that wouldn't even appear for the most part unless it was a super significant player in a news report at 5, or the next day in the paper. Now we're getting it, boom.
I can understand what you're getting at, Lummy, because I will say that when it comes to just the Bucks in particular, and this doesn't have so much to do with the fucking Heat, how hot it is outside, but do you feel like it is wrong to bring the Bucks training staff into question? Because I feel like it has been a valid question for 3 or 4 years that there always comes a time where it feels like we're losing these guys to cramps and hamstrings left and right. And I mean, they've been under fire before. Like, I've heard more than a few people say that, like, hey, maybe the Bucks training staff isn't that great at what they're doing.
A hamstring's really not on the training staff.
Yeah.
Cramping, maybe, but that's also on the individual player.
Yeah,
Who knows what they were out doing last night?
Yeah, they need to have more fluids in them.
It's a fluid intake issue, and yeah, there's a training element to it, but there's also a player accountability element to it. Who's not out there cramping up is
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
That's right.
Because he takes care of himself.
813.
And he's not super muscular.
He's like Brian in pads.
Yeah, I don't cramp.
Hey, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Hey, it's Hot Carl.
What's up, Hot
dude,
Carl?
So, not much, man. So, are you going to be at the preseason game?
Yes, I am. That's my next topic I want to talk to you guys about. But yes, I will be at the preseason game.
Cool, man. I'm gonna be there, man. I'm gonna be repping my Dolphins. I've seen some reports coming out from the joint practice today that it's not looking good for the Bucks. I mean,
of course, I'm sure. I'm
sure all your Miami reporters
how about
told you
Tua
that.
unable to get a field goal off their 2-minute drill? Why don't we talk about that report, buddy?
Well, come on, dude.
They failed.
Let me talk. You're losing on two separate centers now. So
he's fine.
No, he's
cramped.
fine.
He's back out there right now.
Oh, okay, but
working your DTs like they're his bitch.
It's all good. Oh yeah, that's why. What's his name? Leonard Fournette punched Christian Wilkins in the face on the O line because he stopped him at the line of scrimmage, buddy.
It wasn't that. He spit in his face afterwards.
Good thing they were able to stop Leonard Fournette because they couldn't stop shit else. I mean, Julio Jones got a 40-plus yard touchdown. Scotty Miller got in the end zone. Jalen Darden got in the end zone.
Hey, at the end of the day, you still have to.
Xavier Howard was getting fucking cooked out there, my boy.
Hey, guess what? We won't see you in the playoffs.
Hey, look, it's all in good fun, man. I can like my team. I was just gonna see if Lummy would chug a beer with me, man. I'm gonna be probably tailgating over by Jesuit.
He'll chug anything that's bought for him.
Oh, no, I bring my own alcohol.
No, but I said you'll chug anything that's. If you buy him a beer, he'll chug it with you.
Jesuit's kind of a far walk from where you usually are, Lummy. Are you going to be in your usual spot?
Actually, I might be parking by the Jesuit this time.
Oh,
the Jesuit spot.
Might as well just park here and walk over. Jesus.
Lummy. Hey, Lummy.
No, not Jesuit. No, Jesuit. So Jesuit controls the spot in where the RVs are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jesuit gets out, not the Jesuit high school.
So over by $1 place.
Yeah, but it's closer. They have the ones all the way up to Heim, so it's literally walk across Heims.
Yeah, it's really not that bad of a walk. But
no, when you're saying Jesuit, though, that's pretty. That's not close.
I would never park at Jesuit. Never.
But hey, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm calling it.
No, it's not. It's preseason football. It will not be fun.
Yes,
it will be. The party beforehand might be fun. The game will be boring.
For free, man.
Well, Carl,
but,
that's great.
Carl,
enjoy it.
If you're on Twitter, shoot me a thing on Twitter, and I will meet up with you. All right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That sounds good, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
You couldn't pay me to go to a preseason.
Are you good? I was actually going to ask, are we going to spend the next 10 minutes shitting on everybody who goes to a preseason game?
That's actually,
I'm not shitting on them. If that's what you want to do,
that's
not a good time.
Let me ask my question.
I'd rather go to a high school football game than a preseason NFL.
There you go. So my question to Brian, because I knew Rhett would probably agree with me on this, but I was going to ask Brian, what do you think of the fans that go to a preseason game and are upset? They start they start yelling. They get really angry at the preseason game, but they analyze the team. Like if the Bucks go out and beat the crap out of the Dolphins 41-7, but half of it scored by the third stringers in the third and fourth, and they're bragging and they're saying that the Dolphins are, whoever we're playing is going to the, what do you consider those guys? Are those guys
losers.
up with your Jersey guys?
They're losers.
No, fucking idiots.
They're idiots. And show me any correlation to preseason success and Super Bowl titles, and then maybe I'll start caring. But it's essentially a glorified scrimmage. I mean, they're just working on different packages with different players, seeing what they got. Essentially, you're watching like a reality show to fill the last 3 spots on a team because they already know their roster for the most part. They get attrition. You have like Jakeem, what's his name? Jakeem Grant.
Yes.
Lost for the year. So that opens up a roster spot for the Browns, right? So you're looking at maybe 4 or 5 spots being vied for. It's just not that compelling. It's just not. Now, Hard Knocks is fun to watch.
Oh, I love Hard Knocks.
That's great to watch. But it is not going to a stadium and sweating for a preseason game. I mean,
well, listen, they play them usually at night.
Yeah. It's so balmy here at night. I mean, come on.
Well, what I was saying too is that you guys kind of did. I know Rhett was getting a little aggressive with the whole practice thing.
What?
Like when we were, Hot Carl was talking about, you stopped, Blonde or whatever his name is.
Fournette punched the guy in the face.
Oh. Yeah, well, that was all in good fun.
And then, you were saying about Jones scoring a touchdown.
That was only because he came out hot.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
Carl does.
So, what do you, those guys?
Like the steaming pile of crap that Hot Carl is.
I mean, it's nice.
Well, that's what Hot Carl is.
Well, because if you look at how Tua's being, they're saying he's probably like the next Dan Marino right now.
Yeah, probably the never going to win a Super Bowl. You're right.
The Dolphins actually...
Exactly. That's what he and Dan Marino have in common.
The Dolphins actually released a promotional infographic the other day on their social media channels, and they basically touted these selected stats that put Tua above guys like Dan Marino, like some other Miami Dolphins quarterback legends. And I got a good kick out of that. I'll try and pull it up and tell you some more here in a second.
It's funny. It's cute. It's cute what they're doing with Tua.
I mean, listen, if that's your guy, you got to wave the flag to a certain extent.
No, I get it.
But I remember the Bucs would do the same exact thing with Jameis. But don't get me wrong, his production was a hell of a lot better than what Tua's was by this point. I mean, he was making a lot more boneheaded plays, but fuck, dude, it's just funny when teams really, really try and make what they have flashy.
Well, and I have a good stat here from my buddy in 732 is that when Detroit went 0-16, they went 4-0.
Hell yeah!
And let's go to 813 because we love 813 callers.
Lummy and Babyface, what's happening?
Oh, this is Babyface's favorite. And don't forget Red, too.
I love Babyface. That's my boy right there.
What's up, man?
Hey, so I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2008, maybe 2007, when the Detroit Lions went 0-16. They were 4-0 in the preseason.
Well, probably because they had the best preseason football team. I mean, you know,
they played their starters all the way through the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, it's 100%. I mean, it's so meaningless, and I mean, if you are absolutely obsessed with who's going to be running down special team tackles for the Bucs, then preseason football might be for you.
I've had season tickets since Jameis Winston was in his second year, because they were so easy to get. I just had to jump on them. And I haven't been to one preseason game yet.
Smart man.
Okay.
Give them away to friends. You can't even sell them.
I do give them away.
Yeah, you can't sell them.
I don't sell them. And I'll be honest with you, I have 3 seats, and I have 4 sons, okay? And usually only one of them wants to go to the games. I don't even sell that ticket. I keep that as an empty middle seat between us where we put all our shit, and it comes in handy. I tell you what. One more question. Is there any way the not the Cavaliers, the Browns, can't Roger Goodell just say, buddy, we don't want you in our league no more, Deshaun?
No.
You know?
No.
And in fact, I don't even think that he has grounds for an appeal, quite honestly. Based upon my understanding of it, he has to be appealing something about the judge's or the arbitrator's decision that was either not considered, what newly discovered evidence, something that went outside of the norm. I mean, you can't agree to arbitration and then be like, well, it doesn't matter what you say, we're going to go for what we want anyways. Now, he can do that. Deshaun can then sue, and the NFL doesn't want to get into lawsuits on this, because then you've got monopoly issues, you've got the antitrust issues that start coming up, and they don't want to open that can of worms. So they've got to pick the hills that they die on. And so Goodell has to say this publicly because of all the public outcry, and he's saying the right things publicly, and they're probably hoping and praying that Deshaun agrees to 8 or 10 games to make this go away. But if I'm Deshaun, I'm like, nope, I'm doing 6 and that's it.
Man, with Roger Goodell, is he on a contract where next year it could be his last year to be commissioner of the NFL? Is that how that works?
I think
he signs a contract.
I think the owners have to come together collectively and vote him out. Otherwise, I believe he stays until he retires.
Yeah, it's bad for
I know
business
he
to
makes
vote him
the
out.
NFL tons of money.
No, he really doesn't. He doesn't. I could be the commissioner of the NFL, and they would be making the same amount of money that they're currently making under Roger Goodell. He is not bigger than the game. He's not an innovator. He's not like the CEO of Apple, right? That guy is. You're right. You know, it's not like he's surrounding himself with these geniuses that are. It has so much of its own inertia at this point. It runs itself.
He's running 32 different companies, kind of that run themselves.
It's kind of like really good cocaine. The product sells itself, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't.
There you go.
It doesn't need commercials.
Hey, I've never done coke in my life. I just thought that'd be funny to say.
No, that was good. That was
That's
good.
a good one.
Yeah,
Hey, y'all take care.
Have a good one, man. That's your boy.
Yeah, it's the white iced tea.
You called him also Cat Williams?
Cat Williams, yeah, it's a combination. Yeah.
Goodell pretty much all he's doing is running, it's almost like he has 32 different companies that are all running themselves, and they're all making a lot of money, and he just oversees them, and maybe just goes.
What value do you think he actually adds to the game? What value do you think that he adds that somebody else similarly situated could not add? Zero. There's zero. There's nothing that Roger Goodell brings to the NFL that somebody else couldn't.
His big thing, I guess, is that his big positive is he brought the NFL to Europe.
Yeah, no.
Hold on. I was going to make a point is that's his big, I did this. You take something that is one of the hottest things, but like if Apple, if Steve Jobs was like, hey, I got this phone and you can do this with it. And he took it to Europe, and they're like, oh, my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, it's like an easy sell. I mean, you don't even have to sell it on it.
The system's in place. The foundation's in place. It's not like he's innovating anything. I mean, it's just all he has to literally do is not screw up, and he's not even very good at that. So I'm not a fan of Roger Goodell.
Right, what's your opinion on Roger Goodell?
Yeah, he fucking sucks.
Wow.
I mean, it's always kind of been the agenda to boo Roger Goodell, especially when he comes out at the draft. But like the guy himself is just a joke. He's been such a terrible He's been such a terrible spokesperson for the entire league for so many years at this point. And then how many years ago was it now that they had the whole contract debacle and he made sure to include the jet as leverage and part of that deal, and his salary wasn't enough, so he needed that much more, and all of this fucking bullshit. I can't stand the guy.
He's so overpaid.
I cannot.
He's making
stand the guy.
$35 million a year.
I mean,
Like
he's
private
basically
jet.
the highest paid wide receiver at this point, because that's going to be the average wide receiver market in a couple of years.
Which, Brian, do you think that's sustainable? I mean, do you guys think it's sustainable?
What,
The way
paying
that-
Roger Goodell 35 or wide
Well,
receivers like 28?
No, like the way, like every single wide receiver, if they have one good year, they want to get paid like they're the best wide receiver.
The salary cap's gonna.
I gotta
eventually,
run,
like-
guys. I'm dealing with like a million different issues right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so sorry. I've got to go.
Oh, Brian, I'm
That's all
sorry.
right.
I'm bummed out too, man.
We were
Sorry,
really getting into
man.
it, man.
We were just
had
about to
record
talk-
numbers. We had record numbers right now.
We were literally just about to talk about the preseason
I don't know how many's on
fans.
Well, you guys
Facebook.
can talk all the preseason football you want while I'm
Our numbers are going to drop now.
I know, dude. You're like the big name on the show. That's half the show. It's half
Bye.
the naming rights. See
Bye,
you, buddy.
Brian.
Be safe.
All right, do you want to move to Brian's spot since he has the biggest?
Yeah, we'll do a little more. If you want to cut my mic off, I'll jump over there.
Man, that was, we were really getting into it there.
We were trying.
I mean, Babyface was really bringing it. He brought a lot of energy. He was really feeling it. Man, record numbers on, different platforms. Yeah, Group of Lips show's over. 813-90 Bubba, call in. You got me, DaFilthy. But, we can still talk about everything we want to talk about. And there's still a lot of things in the NFL. I'm going to the Bucks Dolphins game. Obviously, it seems like there's a lot of Dolphins fans that listen to our show.
I mean, there's a lot of Dolphins fans living in Tampa.
I'm a little surprised there's that many Dolphin fans.
I mean, I'm not.
Why?
Miami's,
I mean,
3 hours from here?
I'm talking about just Dolphin fans in general in Florida. I mean, the Dolphins, when's the last time they were technically relevant?
That one year that everybody thought they were going to be really good. I think they went like 10-6 that year and missed the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
I was excited about the Dolphins that year because I got some family friends that
Sorry,
are.
I gotta take this. It is Bubba the Love
Lummy.
Sponge. Yes, 512. Yes, sir.
Lummy,
Yes, sir.
Just texted you. I need the link to the Tampa Tarpons thing
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. I will send that to you right now.
because if you go regular, it's got me on SeatGeek, and I have nowhere to put a promo code.
Okay, yeah, I will send you.
Well, what is it? What is it? Is it www.
Well, I have a direct link that I will send to you that it does everything for you. All you do is click on the seat. It's very easy.
Hey, will you email it to me?
You want me to email it to you? Okay.
Yeah, because that way, because I'm on my laptop now, and I can do an email over to the Willie more than I could do a Willie over to the email.
Yes, sir. I will do that right now.
That makes sense. Is Brian Matroni down there?
He actually just left. He has a big emergency, I think, at his house or somewhere. We don't know, but he had to just run
Are you
out.
by yourself?
I got Rhett the filthy ginger in here.
Hey, Bubba.
Hey, buddy.
That one didn't sound too confident, but we'll be
Well,
able
I'm
to.
trying to fucking book these tickets, motherfucker.
Oh,
So
I'm
send me
sending.
the shit.
I'm doing it right now. We were going to promote it even more, but yeah, for the common fan, you can go to tampatarpons.com. And Bubba, you will be getting that email here shortly, and you don't have to
Okay,
type in
buddy.
the promo code or anything in.
No, but the common fan, we want them to be able to navigate through it and stuff. And the link that we're given, is that does it have the option to put Bubba 22 in there?
Yes, we're giving them two. We're giving the direct link, which we'll be doing on Instagram, and then on the picture Rhett made, we're just telling them tampatarpons.com tickets, and then it says promo code. You type in Bubba 22, and it takes you right to the sections and the seat options. So we have two options.
And by the way, I just got off the phone with Janie Cakes, and she was doing water aerobics. She was in the pool swimming when I was on the phone with her, and she's already lost 12 pounds. And
Awesome.
she is going to do the first pitch.
Did she get to listen to your voicemails?
Yeah, she said she had some nice words to say to me about that. So, all right, Lummy. So I'm going to get these tickets, and make sure you tell everybody in the Bubba Army, we want a huge showing next Saturday, 6:15, Janie Cake's first pitch.
Everybody's going to be out there. Ashley's going to be there. Romina, the Merch Crick, Blummel, whole fucking 9 yards.
Are we going to have the cream machine out there, or is
yes,
that
the cream machine will be out there. Yes,
perfect?
It will be.
And I got that generator being set up for us to come out there.
No, really, but I mean, now set up to go out there, or do we get to have it forever?
Well, we get to have it, but it's going to be introduced at the Tarpon.
Well, we would like to probably maybe if Jeff could get it to us like on Thursday or Friday, so we could go a couple dry runs with it, so that you know what I'm saying.
I will make sure that he will have it here early on Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday.
Just ask.
Okay, I will ask him, but give him the wink, nod. We need it here.
Yes.
I won't
pull
a tire choice. Thank you, Bubba.
Bye.
Bye. An exclusive from Bubba the Love Sponge, right? You know, we lose Brian, and then we still pull the nose up. We get Bubba the Love Sponge. I mean, you know, that's a great call right there.
I mean, that's why we are the #1 Tampa Bay-based sports show
that switches its time between 12 o'clock and 1 and 4.
So I don't know if
5.
this is I don't know if this is public knowledge. You can stop me if you know where this is going. But we did start at noon today. Is that like a new thing? Is that
we've done it occasionally? There's been times that I've had to maybe go home and watch Walker if our nanny has possibly, so I go a little early, or if Ashley's had a little later. But we've done a lunch break with Brian before.
Yeah.
Now we with saying that, usually it's like a late thing, and you know maybe we're on one platform, but it's nice having a nice lead in with the after show.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's consistent content for consumers, and for us, I mean, let's face it, it works way better for the schedule.
Oh,
because when you're leaving the studio at 5:30 p.m. and you get a 20-minute commute, that 20-minute commute turns into a 45-minute commute.
Yeah, but well, the one thing with this is why we really did add 4 is one, it makes it because Brian can go usually a little bit longer, and then with me, it makes it a little easier. I go home when the nanny leaves at 2. And then Ashley usually gets off around, 4 o'clock. So when Walker needs, 3, 4 o'clock. So it makes it a little easier for everyone. Plus, we can go a little longer. Plus, I mean, there's not too many, #1 rated sports shows in the world going on at 4 o'clock. So
I've been saying it for a long time. I know a lot of other people who have been saying it for a long time. Sports radio market in this town is abysmal. And for as good of a town as we are, we deserve some content like what you, me, and Brian Babyface Petroni can put out every single Wednesday here on the Bubba Radio Network.
Exactly. 973. Thank you. Shit, I was hitting that. I was missing the fucking button. I'm like, oh, fuck. I was looking at the number.
Hey, Mike from New Jersey. What's up, pal?
What's up, Mike from New Jersey?
Hey, I just wanted to say and ask you a question. Congratulations on getting that Brett Favre deal, man. That was freaking incredible. And it was just really, really surreal to see Bubba up there, just the two of them guys, split screen going back and forth. And it was funny that, Bubba, like he even says, I'm a fanboy or whatever, but he was in such awe. And then at the end, when he didn't even know Bubba's name, and he kind of correlated with your name, how did that whole thing go down? Can you tell us a little behind the scenes about it?
I know that Bubba has wanted Brett Favre on for the longest time. Pretty much, and then Rhett kind of even put it back in my head. I've been working on it for a little bit in the background, just trying to find some different information. Rhett brought it up to me. There's a magazine that Bubba found that from 2000, I believe, right, Rhett?
2000, 2001.
And in there, they asked if you could have a 30-second or 1-minute conversation with anybody, who would it be? And he answered it, Brett Favre. And it brought it back into my mind. Man, I've been working on that one. I need to just really, you know what? That's probably something I really need to focus on. So for about 2 weeks, I really dug in deep and focused on it, and I was able to squirrel my way into talking directly to Brett Favre.
Well, I think the coolest part about it was once we kind of started to realize oh, this can probably happen. This seems somewhat plausible. And then after that, it was just the keeping it a secret for, however long.
And I kept it a secret from Bubba for about a week and a half. The 2 weeks. It was about 11. It was had to be
150% sure it was going to happen.
Yeah, it was about 10:30 at night, about 2 weeks before, when Brett emailed me back and said, "Yeah, let's do this date." And I wanted to just start jumping up and down and doing cartwheels. And
when you threw that, and behind the whole being on the air and all that stuff, did he he must have been like going nuts, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, first he told me, he's like, "What the fuck? How are you gonna fucking do that?" I'm like, "Well, what if I've been talking to him?" And he's like, "No fucking way, get out of here." And I'm like, "No, listen, it's for real." And yeah, I mean, he was excited. It was a great interview. If you haven't heard it, it's on our YouTube. I mean, you know, Bubba got into a lot of old school history with them, and I mean, a lot of people. I mean, it's a fascinating interview with Brett Favre, and he had a lot of fun. I really do think he's going to come back on, and hopefully during the season too, especially with the Bucs playing the Packers. Maybe we could have him on before. So yeah, no, it was a great it was a great interview.
You know, I'm not a radio guy. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. But if you can get him on with Don McCaskey at the same time, that would probably be pretty cool.
I mean, that might have landed it when I dropped the Don McCaskey line. You know, I'm like, oh, we just interviewed Don McCaskey, and not anyone else I mentioned, not Deion, Tucker, or anybody. It might have been just the Dan McCaskey one. But I mean, yeah, I think they have respect for each other.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, that would be good. It would also be good if they got Deion and Brett Favre on too, like them busting balls with each other.
Yep, yeah, just peeling it on you, man. All right, cool. Well, good job, man. Hope you get another one, man. That was awesome for you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, when you land a Brett Favre interview, you just start feeling like like Bubba said, you know, you feel like you can just get everyone.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I mean, just do like. There's a couple people who are like, how'd you get him? I'm like, well, I just worked. I didn't take no for an answer from anybody, and I just kept like maneuvering different ways to do it. I'm not going to give my way of doing it, but you know a little bit of it. But you know what I mean.
It's a process. I mean, it's show business.
You take a chance, and you obviously got to word certain things right.
High risk, high reward, just like betting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put a little money down, you could turn around, make a bunch of money.
It kind of almost started with the Brad Johnson. I know Brad Johnson's not a big name like a Brett Favre, but he is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He had really, really good years with the Vikings and the Buccaneers. He had decent numbers with the Cowboys, but he still is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And if you know football, you know Brad Johnson. And that was one of the ones that I was surprised that I got.
Hey, not to take away from your prowess at booking guests for the Bubba Show, but I wanted to kind of sidebar. We mentioned Brett Favre being a Hall of Fame quarterback. I started thinking about Brad Johnson, and if he really makes the cut, I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
I don't think so either.
But when you look at the class this year, the Hall of Fame class of 2022, am I the only person who feels like it's kind of weak? Like,
I actually saw one of your tweets. I agree with you.
Like,
how does
Rondé
Barber not make that Super Bowl class?
Like, Cliff Branch can get in there. I'm okay with it. The other linemen who played in New England, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? Like, these are names that I recognize to a degree, but I can't think of any super long. What's the name of the coach, the Philly coach that they put in there?
Well, yeah, he was at USC. He was in the Philly. He
yeah,
was
but
in
his
the Rams.
record,
Dick
Vermeil. But
yeah.
his record in the NFL was like 147, 139. Like, it wasn't good. Like, he wasn't that great. I mean, like, I know we're going off a legacy and all that shit.
He did win Super Bowls though.
He won one. He got one Super Bowl
with the Rams, and then he retired.
And then he retired, and like that's it. You know, like I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm a little biased because of the Rondé Barber thing.
Well, no, I agree with you. Hold on, let me take this real quick. I was pulling up a stat and I lost the button. 641.
Hello.
641. Yeah, there we go. Dumbass me.
Hey,
Hello.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Brandon the Quad? Yeah, there's a lot of guys.
Oh, not much. I just wanted to say that was an awesome interview, and because when Blitz threw it out, like I thought it was going to be Warren Sapp because but that was cool that he threw everybody off.
You didn't think it was going to be Jimmy Hart?
No.
Oh, I guess someone picked it up when Rhett and I were joking about Jimmy Hart, and I opened the door, and I said, "Oh, hopefully no one thinks it's Jimmy Hart or whatever." And I saw a couple people in chat go, "Oh, you should probably kayfabe when you're walking into the studio," and it was Jimmy Hart.
Yeah. No, I didn't think it'd be Jimmy Hart, but that'd be a pretty interesting interview.
That was still so funny to me, though. Just all this hype. Just the biggest interview in Bubba Show history, and it's fucking Jimmy Hart.
And he walks in here with his megaphone.
Yeah.
Talking about buddies. Hey, it's Jimmy.
Hey, baby, it's me, Jimmy Hart, mouth of the South.
Let me do a little solo for you, buddy. Hey.
Now, Bubba, you and I did a Daewoo commercial about 25 years ago.
But do you guys think it's safe to bet the over and unders on the preseason, just $5 here or there?
Brandon, I'm going to tell you something right now. As a somewhat betting expert, and this is just my opinion and not an opinion of the Bubba Radio Network, I would not bet on any preseason football games, Brandon.
Yeah, there's nothing consistent about those games at all, my friend.
You can't bet on spring training baseball, preseason basketball, or preseason football. You can't. Unless you have some insight, Iggy, on something that you know, you're relying on usually third stringers in the third and fourth quarter. So now you have to study who is going to be better. And yeah, you can always say the over, but let me tell you something. It doesn't always happen that way. And as a degenerate gambler, I might have dabbled in it for one season. And I lost.
For one season.
Yes, one season. And I learned. You know what? When you got Josh Johnson back there, or you got some other scrub for the Bucks, and they're feeling good and they're looking good. Well, when you get to the 10-yard line in the fourth quarter, they're not going to try to score because they're not trying to run up the score. You don't bet on any preseason. Listen, save your 5, save your 1, save your 10. Wait for the regular season.
And are we still going to do FanDuel every week?
Of course. That was fun.
Yeah.
FanDuel and DraftKings, because FanDuel for some reason won't, unless they've changed it now, won't allow us to get over 20 people or 25, whatever it was.
Well, I can check into it, and then I'll text you if they.
You know what, Brandon? Brandon, how about this? You usually like a little job, right?
Yeah.
You wanna reach out to FanDuel and see if they'll give us like a FanDuel Bubba Army League.
Of like 60 people or something?
Yeah, like where we have we don't have a cap on our leagues.
Well, I can check into that.
Yeah, and then maybe take a picture and send it to them and say, like, look, I'm looking. Because Brett and I both were joking that Brett Favre probably thought that I was, a special needs kid, which it's,
But just imagine if you, when you go up to the game in the wheelchair, and you can just get all the Tampa Bay players because you can play the handicap card.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Brandon, hopefully by that time we're still in the playoffs and you're down here for BARP, and maybe you can go and we can go together and we can just say we're brothers.
Yeah, we can sit right next to each other in the handicap section.
Yeah, we can say we're brothers while we're on the 50-yard line calling plays.
Yeah. Well, you guys are doing a good job and have a good vacation.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right, bye.
See you, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to do the FanDuel and DraftKings. We do have our fantasy football league. I think everybody came back. Rhett is now into it, and one person that did get replaced is replaced by homeless Drew Garabo. So that should be fun. But we will do an every week FanDuel, DraftKings, especially when it gets full. We did a lot of that. I mean, there was a couple weeks, which is why I'm hoping that we can get some kind of FanDuel thing going, because there was times that we got like 19 people, and I think the limit was 20, and they'd cancel it on us.
Yeah.
And that was when Rhett left us, and he wasn't wanting to participate with us.
I wasn't invited, actually.
I would invite you. You never joined.
I never got invited to DraftKings or FanDuel. I got invited to maybe one fantasy league before I left, but that was like the pre-staging process, because it was 4th of July weekend.
You big timed us at that point.
Big timed who?
Us, everybody, everyone here. It's okay. Listen, you're back to Filthy. We love having you back. Let's go back to your Hall of Fame.
I'm happy to be back.
Your Hall of Famer talk. If you look at it and you look at your finalists, right? Jared Allen
should have been in.
Willie Anderson
could have probably gone in.
Rondé Barber
overdue.
I have no idea.
This is the. Oh no, it's not. He's been eligible for like 7 years.
Correct.
Now.
This is the year that everyone predicted that he should have been in. That this was going to be his class to be in.
So you're telling me the list in front of me right now, I know it's modern era, but you're telling me that list in front of me right now.
This is the finalist.
Right. Those are not the guys, or not all of the guys who made it in.
Correct.
Yeah, that's just fucking, that's just.
Here's the ones that made it in. So I'll name the finalists real quick. Yeah, Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Rondé Barber, Tony Baselli, Leroy Butler, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Sam Mills, Richard Seymour, Zach Thomas, DeMarcus Ware, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Bryant Young. Now, who made it in was Baselli, Branch, Butler, McNally, Mills, Seymour, Ramil, and Young.
Well, Branch, half of those guys that you just named aren't on that finalist list because it's the modern era player finalists. So it's newer names, which is why, like, you know, Andre Johnson is on there, DeMarcus Ware. I guess Zach Thomas could be grouped into that.
No, hold on. No, that was the finalists to get. They voted on those. They made the between
right,
stage
but
three.
The list you're showing me right now is modern era, which is why like Cliff Branch is not on that list.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, it's counting that, but still, hold on. Listen, I had an argument the other day at a bowling about Richard Seymour. His stats are not better than a Rondé Barber, but because he played in New England, he got obviously more Super Bowls. But for a cornerback like Rondé Barber, he kind of changed like the way the cornerback system played. Because if you look at Richard Seymour as a defensive end, defensive tackle, he had let's see here, tackles. Where's his sacks? Sacks. Where the fuck are sacks? Here we go. 57.5 sacks. He's a defensive end, defensive tackle. He had 57.5 sacks. How many sacks does Simeon Rice have, Rhett? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, no.
It's 100 and something, I believe. And that guy is not even on the finalist. Is it because he won so many Super Bowls? He was so many tackles? Like,
yeah, the selection process has been like...
He's got 122 sacks.
Like, the criteria for getting in the Hall of Fame is always going to be ripped to shreds by those casual people on the internet because there's going to be one side of the group that says, oh, well, he didn't have enough Super Bowls or he didn't have enough personal accolades. Like, it kind of sucks because now we're getting to the point where people are being judged on their Hall of Fame eligibility based off of fucking Pro Bowls. Not all pro appearances, not, records that they may hold at their respective position. We're talking about Pro Bowls, which if you know anything about the Pro Bowl nowadays, the NFL's talking about getting rid of the goddamn thing because it's nothing more than a popularity contest. So it's like...
Well, first off, you look at Simeon Rice, and now Richard Seymour was in for defensive end, defensive tackle. He had 58.5 sacks. Now, Simeon Rice, who was a defensive end, had 122.
How many did guys like Jared Allen and fucking Zach Thomas have? Because I know Zach Thomas had more than that.
Well, he was a middle linebacker, though.
Zach Thomas?
Yeah.
No, you're right. I'm thinking of the Jason Taylor's the guy I'm thinking of, and he went in a couple years ago, didn't he?
Yeah. Jared Allen, his stats. I mean, no, look, he should have went in. I think they're thinking he's going to probably get in the next year.
Yeah.
Jared Allen had 136 sacks.
I think another thing that's unfortunate about the Hall of Fame selection process is not even so much the committee, but the people trying to rally for these guys to end up in the Hall of Fame, like the Buccaneers representative Ira Kaufman.
Yeah, well, let's look at Rondé Barber, though. So Richard Seymour, yeah, he won a lot of Super Bowls. You could say he was a great defensive player, but Rondé Barber, for a cornerback...
revolutionized the position.
28 sacks.
Like...
He was a 2020 guy. He had 47 interceptions. And he was a tackler, too. He had 1,251 tackles. For a cornerback, that is really good. And for like 6, 7 years now, to not even, like, he finally made the finalist. But is it because he won one Super Bowl?
You're talking about Rondé?
Yeah.
It was just because, I mean, he started the past couple of years he's been a finalist. Yeah, he's made it farther than he used to because he's been eligible for 7 fucking years.
Is it because he made 5 Pro Bowls?
It's kind of like John Lynch. Like, do you remember for the longest time until John Lynch got in a couple of years ago, it was the same thing as Rondé, but Lynch was eligible way sooner than Rondé was because, Rondé played a little longer, but like you're kind of just there until you get over the hump and then somebody gets you in.
But like, why hasn't someone like a Simeon Rice been even acknowledged for
I don't
Hall of Fame?
No, seriously, I don't know what that's all about. I'm glad Devin Hester is finally starting to get some nods, but someone said it in chat. Like, Devin Hester should have been in a while ago because that guy is the best returner in history and like by a good margin. Like, you really couldn't even think of a guy who's a close second place as far as consistently producing for his team on special teams. Like, Deshaun Jackson had some electric returns in his day. He was a deadly returner, but he wasn't fucking Devin Hester good.
Well, see, I'm going to disagree. Sweet Love Me, we agree on a lot of things. He said in chat, tackles for corners means he's being thrown on a lot, Lum. Rondé is not a Hall of Fame player. I have to disagree because the Tampa 2...
How many corners were getting after the quarterback
but the Tampa 2, though, it was a different defense, so they would play back a lot and give up the short game. Like they'd play back because that's what they were relying on, their defensive line, and they had a good defensive 4 to rush in, so the quarterback didn't have that much time because those guys were playing back, so they didn't want to lose to the deep ball. So like if a 4 or 5 yard drop against the Bucs, then you have a cornerback in that system that was perfect to tackle. Because a lot of times, if you're bumping and running, a lot of quarterbacks, if you have a good defensive line like the Bucs did, they had the Warren Sapps, the Brad Culpeppers, Cheney Ahadatus, the Greg Whites, the Simeon Rices, they're not giving them any time. So you're not capable of, so there's no play. So Rondé Barber is going to play back a little bit just in case. That's why they were literally dropping in like 4 or 5 yard passes. And Rondé Barber, like even Dion said, I don't get paid to tackle. I mean, he's come out and said it. Cornerbacks aren't known for tacklers, and this guy was known for tackles because at that point it was a different career. But he still had a good amount of interceptions and sacks, and I believe he was one of the first to get or maybe he wasn't one of the first, maybe he was the second or third. He was 2020. He was a 2020 guy, and there's not many of those guys out there. I mean, when you play in a system, you're kind of a system player, but you still have to fit that system.
And fitting the system for a guy like Rondé Barber means he was going to be used a little bit more than the average corner in run support. Like that's where a lot of his tackles came from, is run support. And just like you had mentioned, those short check down passes to get away from fucking Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, and everyone else on that line.
And then you can even look at like Derek Brooks. I mean, I know a lot of people even like there's a lot of system players that played for the Bucs. You know, Derek Brooks. The problem also is that the Bucs sucked for so long that the big media did not like covering the Bucs. The Bucs defense here in the late 90s and 2000s was one of the best defenses.
Would you say like 96 to 04?
Yeah, and I mean they don't get enough credit for that. I mean, there's a lot of teams now that play the Tampa 2. You know, and it's one of those things where for the longest time, the Bucs had one of the best defenses. When you talk about the, you know, they say, you know, the Steelers defense and, you know, the Cowboys, the Bears, the 85 Bears, things like that. You know, you hear the one year, obviously, the Bucs went to the Super Bowl and won it. But the years before that, listen,
the 99 Bucs defense was probably better than the 1 and 02.
Yeah, it was, because and what it pissed me off too when I watched it was the greatest show on turf on the NFL Network or whatever. They were like, oh, they're high scoring 30, 40 points a game.
Yeah, they were jobbing out the fucking Bucs.
And then the Bucs get to them. NFC Championship.
Yeah. Bert Emanuel catch.
Well, the Bucs shut them. Like, they scored 11 points. They literally, they had like a 10-second segment on it. The Bucs in 99 shut it down. The Bucs in 99 had Trent Dilfer wasn't playing that game. They had Sean King. Yeah, the Bucs, you know, Sean King, blah, blah, say whatever you want. The Bucs offense sucked, all right? They were rolling good because they had a really good defense that year. Another thing the Bucs defense don't get is in 98. Remember when the Vikings were undefeated? But they went 15-1.
Was it 04?
It was 98 when they went 15-1.
Oh, no, you're right.
And they were facing the Falcons. They didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but it was still one of those teams that had unbelievable offense.
Yeah.
The Bucs beat them.
Yep.
The Bucs beat them. The Bucs gave them the only loss that year. If the Bucs would have settled, if they didn't beat them, they would have went undefeated going to the NFC Championship game. That was a great offense. The Bucs defense shut down that. They had Randy Moss. I think Dante Culpepper was there. They had Chris Carter. Another great offense that the Bucs defense shut down that year. And unfortunately, you know, we made the playoffs, but we couldn't get over that hump. We always couldn't get over that hump because our offense wasn't that strong, which obviously that's why John Gruden came in. John Gruden came in because he was an offensive guru. He brought his guys in. He left the defense alone, and we had one good year. The next year, unfortunately, we had a lot of injuries, and it all fell apart, and then they rebuilt it, unfortunately.
The problem with Gruden and his regime, and I heard this from Sean King, there were a lot of players on the roster who did not like him the moment he walked in the door.
Really?
Yeah. Like, there was a lot of animosity between him and that locker room. For what reasons, I don't know. Hopefully I find out throughout the course of the season because we got him on a contract. But, yeah, there were just a lot of guys who really did not felt like he translated very well after, the Bucks did what they did to a guy like Tony Dungy.
Well, I mean, I think it was more of the defense. And I remember Keyshawn, after they lost to the Eagles that one year, and you had John McKay on the bench, or I'm sorry, Rich McKay on the he was like sitting on the bench, like just hanging his head down, and,
right.
And Keyshawn Johnson came out and said that's when Bill Parcells was supposed to come in. Did you know that?
No.
He said, "Hey, we're going to get a guy coming in," and Bill Parcells, for I think the second or third time, came in, said he was coming in. Which actually the offensive line coach.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You meant coming into Tampa.
Coming into Tampa.
Yes, yeah, I remember hearing about this.
So the Bucs started hiring his staff. They hired Bill, whatever, the offensive line coach, who was the assistant head coach or whatever he was, and then Bill Parcells backed out, and that's when they went and traded for John Gruden. But he still kept a couple of Bill Parcells guys on.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, that was the transformation. I mean, I don't know if Bill Parcells would have led the Bucs to the Super Bowl that year, but obviously John Gruden did. But that defense still is probably one of the most underrated defenses in the NFL.
I think 99 in particular, because when you talk about like the legacy of the best Super Bowl defenses or the best defenses in NFL history, a lot of people are quick to bring up the 02 Bucks. Like they'll put them ranked third next to the 2000 Ravens, the 85 Bears, and I think all of those teams are probably interchangeable, but nobody really talks about that 99 team simply because they didn't get the job done. But what's even crazier...
They technically did.
Sure,
the defense did.
Sure, but the offense didn't do shit. And unfortunately, even if Bert Emanuel would have caught that pass, there's no guarantee they would have scored on that drive.
They did change the rule for him, too, though.
They did.
Second time in the playoffs that
But the craziest thing about that 99 team to me is that if they win that game, the NFC Championship game, they go on to play who? The Titans in the Super Bowl? Right?
The Rams.
They would have fucking dog-walked Tennessee.
Wait, no, it was 99. Yeah, it was Tennessee. You're right.
That was the 1 yard short game.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yes, they would have dog-walked Tennessee. Tony Dungy would have been a Super Bowl champion with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Warren Sapp would have been Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know about Super Bowl MVP or anything like that, but the Bucs would have basically finished what they started, and John Gruden more than likely would not have been here come 2002. So do they win another Super Bowl during that time? I don't think so, but there's a very good chance that, I guess the fate of the entire franchise is kind of changed there.
True, but I mean, I do like John Gruden. I think he is a really good coach. Now, on a GM stance, maybe when he was at the Bucs, I think he liked the veteran players, but I think he did learn after he left the Bucs to be more of a younger guy.
That's just where the league was going after so long.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he adapted to it. I think at that point, if John Gruden didn't come, I still don't think they would have won a Super Bowl. But John Gruden coming here, it did hurt the Bucs for a while with trading the different picks, picking up the veterans, keep picking up veterans,
especially
give it up on rookies,
especially going into 2008. Everything kind of falling apart. Like you lost Sapp a couple years before. You tell Derek Brooks to go kick sand.
Yeah.
Mike Allstott with his injury. These are veterans of your team. And I would say, to be honest with you, a guy like Derek Brooks, even though he was at year 13, year 12, year 13 by that point, he's the cornerstone of that defense. He's the only guy at that point who's been there for that long who just kind of fucking gets it. You know what I mean? Like he's your Levante David now. Like that'd be like if you took the Bucs team currently and you took away Levante David on the offensive side of the ball, you took away, I don't know, Mike Evans, like there's just certain guys on your team that are going to weigh a little bit more than everyone else. And everybody's going to be quick to say Tom Brady when you look at the Bucs roster today, but that's not really the point that I'm trying to make. It doesn't apply the same way that the departure of a Derek Brooks or a Mike Allstott does.
But the 2008 Bucs they started out strong.
Sure did.
I mean, they were 9-3 in week 13. and they lost 4 straight. So it was kind of, who we had on the roster at that point. Jeff Garcia. Now, let's say we had Brett Favre, like we talked about in 2007. I mean, this whole thing could have changed. Gruden could have, if he brought Favre in 2007, I mean, realistically, Gruden could have been, they would have re-signed him, maybe not fire, another 5-6 years, and it changes the whole face of the franchise at that point.
Ernest Graham threw a touchdown that year.
Yeah, I know. Ernest Graham was.
Oh yeah, you bring Brett Favre in and everything works out the way that it should have in 2007 going into 2008. That Bucs team would have been a perennial Super Bowl contender.
Because he had one of his best years with the Vikings. So if he didn't go to the
played
Jets,
like a man possessed.
He has 3 years later, and then they put a quarterback. Possibly they bring in after Favre. It just changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes a lot.
So let me take a look at the stats for Brett Favre in 2008. I don't know why this shit is always so hard to find.
The Jets one's not that good.
The Jets one isn't so much what I'm.
But look at
for.
look at the next year when he
his
was with
first
the
year in
Vikings.
Minnesota was 2009.
Yeah,
he was
had
40 years old.
He had 107 quarterback rating.
Started all 16 games. Went 12-4, 363, 531. Oh Jesus Christ! With a 68.4 lead or completion percentage, which was actually a career high for him. 4,202 yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, which also was the first time in his career that he did not have double-digit interceptions while starting all 16 games. His longest touchdown that year was 63 yards, and then 2010 happened. So what happened with 2010? They didn't do shit, did they? He only played a couple of games that year? He played 13 games.
Yeah, I know, but I believe he got hurt and he played through it. Like, I believe he was hurting.
But 2009 was the year they made it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, with the pick.
Yeah. And then 2010, he gave it one more shot.
He gave it one more shot, and I believe he was pretty injured. He was pretty banged up.
That year, it was 2,509 yards, 11 touchdowns, 19 interceptions. So yeah, pretty rough year for old B. Favre.
Yeah, he was trying to stick it out. He definitely was trying to stick it out, but that didn't work out too well.
Do you happen to remember the receivers he had in Minnesota in 2009? Because they must
Randy
not have
Moss?
been not in 2009. He didn't play with Randy Moss until 2010. They traded for him.
Was it 2010?
He only played like 2 games with Randy Moss. Like he threw maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns to the guy and like $150 on yardage. Like they really didn't connect all too often once he got there. That was a cool little reunion to see Moss back in Minnesota at the time, though.
Yeah, it was. He was ready to hang it up.
Moss has always been one of my favorite receivers.
Even said that.
I don't think he's going to get in for 20 fucking years because he played on the Bucs when they were terrible. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like he was there
Paul
for the
Gruber
Super Bowl,
yeah.
and a lot of those guys are going to get their publicity for that. But Levante David has been missing Pro Bowls for a while. And I know that they do not matter to anyone who has a beyond casual understanding of the game of football, but to the people who vote for the Hall of Fame, unfortunately, they do matter.
Trying to see here. Here we go. Let's see. Because Brian Urlacher, who never even played with him, said that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. I was going to do a compare stats with Zach Thomas and Brian Urlacher, and let's see how close they are. So you got Brian Urlacher on an everyday basis, tackles. So Urlacher had 1,046 tackles. Zach Thomas had 1,107. Obviously, Zach Thomas wins that. Now, he loses on the quarterback hits, tackle for losses, sacks. But once again, you can always put that up to what the Miami defense was going at that time. So, I mean, for a linebacker, realistically, you're pretty much looking at what? Their sacks, or I'm sorry, their tackles for losses.
Big plays, tackles for loss, interceptions, sacks.
Well, I mean, interceptions, Urlacher at 22, Zach Thomas had 17. He had 4 TDs compared to 2. Urlacher played for 12 years, and Zach Thomas played for 12 years. So, I mean, they're pretty close. And I believe Urlacher, didn't he make it in on his first year?
I thought he did. Yeah, I thought he was unanimous.
So, I mean, for a guy...
For first ballot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for a guy to just keep getting rotated over and over and getting passed up, I think those guys are... it's scary to say, but I think Rondé Barber's going to be there. I think he's going to be in that one where it's going to be the what is it? What do they call the elderly Hall of Famers? The senior Hall of Famers?
What? I didn't even know they had a different designation, like the legacy.
When they miss it, and then they usually bring in the guy that's past, and they do
that's like past his prime. That's like almost dead.
Well,
you just gotta get him in here before he turns to dust.
No, but like you see the guys that like Autogram or like the Dick Vermeil. I mean, he retired in 2005.
I think eventually, pick and start to get slim, and they just go after the guys that everyone's been complaining about for a long time. Because while I can sit here and look at this 2022 class and say that half of those guys, don't really deserve it, there's going to be just as many people who are fans of those franchises.
Selected as its senior and coach finalist. Yeah. See, there's a senior.
A senior finalist.
See, that's where Dick Vermeil and
Cliff Branch retired like 30 years ago.
What do you mean? Yeah, he's wearing a plastic fucking face mask in this.
So, I get what you mean. I mean, that's probably going to happen with, I bet you it's going to happen with Simeon Rice. That's a guy who that's going to happen to. I don't know if it's going to happen to a Rondé Barber, but I bet you a Simeon Rice.
How many years does he have left?
Who?
Rondé Barber.
Before what?
Well, didn't they cut him off after 8 years? Or is that just baseball?
I think it's just baseball. I haven't heard anything about that. Because how long has Zach Thomas been eligible for the Hall of Fame?
That's a
good while, right? Because, what is it, 5 years after you retire? So he retired same year Urlacher did. Well, no, he didn't. He retired, you tell me when he retired,
Well, I clicked off.
Because he's probably been eligible
He retired in 2008.
Okay,
and,
so he's been eligible
Urlacher
since
2012.
So he's been eligible since 2013. So he's going into his 10th year of eligibility after this year.
Hall of Famer Iggy McGillicuddy with 1,000 bits.
Fuck yeah! Speaking of Hall of Famers,
Hall of Famer Iggy McGillicuddy with the biggest biceps in the world. He's coming to the Tampa Typing game.
I know. I'm kind of excited. I'm a little scared. I hope he doesn't hate me and beat me up for quitting before. But I haven't seen Iggy since I worked here last.
His biceps are probably way bigger, and he's got more veins coming out of his arms and his neck.
I'm so excited.
Because he's looking good. Lost a lot of weight.
Fucking rugged.
Yeah, he's super rugged. I guess I should have just Googled or Binged. How many years do players qualify for the Hall of Fame?
For the Hoff.
NFL. The Hoff? 5 years. Oh.
That's to become eligible, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Consider 50 years, 26 active. No. What makes a player? Okay, see.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a time code. Like I don't think there's a cutoff for when you're not eligible or when they have to designate you to the senior class. Is Cliff Branch even still alive?
Did you see him there?
I didn't watch the ceremony. Was he there? Did he look like shit?
I don't know. I mean, he did play with a plastic face mask, and no, he died in 2019.
Right. So I think the senior class might just be guys who died, to be honest.
Is Dick Vermeil dead? Is he dead?
He's got to be dead. He was old back in the 80s and 90s.
Dick Vermeil, I think, is still kicking, right? He just did a movie. Not him, though.
Did he?
Yeah, he's still kicking, man. Don't say he's dead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Dr. Dick Vermeil.
He's a doctor. Well, that's on you for not calling him doctor this whole time.
I don't know if he's really a doctor. It might have been just another on my Bing that there's another Dr. Dick. Yeah.
Googling Dr. Dick?
Yeah, he's still alive. Can't believe you didn't know that.
I didn't.
By the way,
forgive me.
Yeah, it was 120 and 109.
Yeah, that's not an awesome record.
Super duper record.
Is it?
And yet, as Brett Favre said, Mike Holmgren is not even eligible, which is pretty. What I mean eligible, he didn't make the finalist.
He'll make it. They're running out of people to put in.
No, they're not.
You got a guy and you want him in, he'll probably get in. Eventually.
Mike Allstott.
I'd like to see the
that will never happen though.
Sometime in my lifetime.
That will never happen.
Why?
Because unfortunately,
because of the position.
Because of the position,
you can't put him in as a running back. He was the featured back.
Hold on. He would never qualify as a running back.
Well, yeah, because his running back numbers, like when he was playing as a fucking running back, were not awesome. But being the, franchise leading scorer, the touchdown getter for the Buccaneers for like 20 years has got to say something.
I don't think that helps. Obviously, you can tell it hasn't helped Simeon Rice.
Yeah, no
but
shit.
There's no sacks. Hey,
what's up, brother?
What's up, man?
What's up, fake Buzzy Bob?
Oh, it's Buzzy again.
Yeah, it's Buzzy again. Lummy, don't hang up on me like you did earlier.
I didn't though. But what's up, fake Buzzy Bob? Hall of Famer, shivering business, zero says with 1,000 bits.
Yes, sir.
You hung up on me earlier, but you said I hung up. That wasn't the case there, brother.
All right. Well, you got any ass eating tips for any NFL players?
Yes, I do. Stop doing it. You're going to get monkeypox across your mouth.
Oh, there you go.
I got me some monkeypox.
Yeah, well, Buzzy Bob, listen, we'll tune into your show. We appreciate it. And
I was eating some raunchy.
We definitely have to get going. I mean, that is a great Busy Bob impression. Rhett fell for it.
Yep, he got me.
I mean, we had to definitely pick it up. But you know what? Next week, call in, and we'll definitely, try to pick it up when Babyface is here. So.
Oh, is this the end of the sports show?
I mean, it's getting pretty close.
We're only going an hour and 17.
I mean,
it's all right. I mean, we got some stuff to film.
I mean,
it is technically vacation. I kind of just want to go home.
We got to do some stuff. I mean,
yeah, there's still work to be done.
I mean, you're not gonna help me cut up any of that audio, so
you're goddamn right. I'm not.
Which is pretty upsetting. But let me just make this read real quick. Don't forget to come join Bubba and the rest of the crew at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa on August 20th at 6:30 p.m. Tampa Tarpons take on the Bradenton Marauders.
Marauders.
Catch Bubba throwing out the first pitch at 6:15. Now, everyone, Bubba Army, we really want to have a great showing there. It's actually a great time. Brett and I have been there twice. It's a really fun time.
It is a good time of year to get out and check out some sporting events. Fall is kind of just around the corner. If you live in Florida, you might have to wait a little bit longer in the rest of the country, but that's all right. We're still outside. We're still kicking it. I have made it a habit of mine to actually tag along with Lummy to these Tampa Bay Tarpon games, and I got to tell you guys, it's a lot of fun. I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I can certainly appreciate a good ballpark atmosphere. And as far as these Tarpon games go, for the price of admission, if you go on their website and you use promo code Bubba22,
which the website, by the way, is tarponsbaseball.com. www.tarpons with an S TARPONS baseball.com and type in, what's the promo code, right?
Bubba22, BUBBA22.
And listen, right now we're currently in section 109 and 110. If you thinking about that you might be hot because you're sitting outside and it's a 6:30 game in Florida on August 20th, don't worry about it. The $36.55 Dugout Club. What the Dugout Club gets you is you got a seat and a premium right behind home plate. But if you get a little hot, you get up, you walk down the stairs, and you're in an air-conditioned private club. And you know what you get with that? And all you can drink, all you can eat. And just Rhett will even testify. The food is good.
It's really hard to drive home how great of an experience this is because, we're over the radio, you're not there, you don't get to see it in person. But the best way that I can possibly explain it to you is that for $36 and 55 cents?
Yes, $36.55.
For $36.55, you get your ass planted in a seat behind home plate. And you get to walk inside an air-conditioned area, eat all the food that you want, drink all the beer, mixed drinks also available for purchase. They got a chili dog station, kettle corn, dessert station. But I'm telling you, if this is the ticket that you're getting at a Rays game, you'd be hard-pressed to not have to drop $300-400 for just that one ticket.
And I'm going to tell you something, too. With the Dugout Club, now, there's also other ones. There's a $17.20 meal deal, lower reserve ticket, where, you know what, you get a free hot dog or chicken tenders, where you get 3 chicken tenders, plus French fries and a drink, so a 12-ounce domestic beer, soda, or bottled water. that is also another option if you do not want to pay the $36.55. Now, if you break it down as I used to do when I was with the Rays,
break it down
with the $36.55. Normally, if you wanted to go to a baseball game, which you know what, if you just want to be that guy that wants to buy one ticket for $5.38, you just get a ticket, sit everyone. That's perfectly fine. We want you to come out. Now, if you're going to have 3 beers, your beers are about $7 a piece. Well, 3 times 7 is what? $21. You get a hot dog, $6. You're at 27 now. 27, then you're like, you know what? Let me go get some fries or something else. You're already at $30 plus the 5. You might as well say, you know what? I'm going to have 6 or 7 beers. You're going to be responsible. You're going to have an Uber or a cab pick you up. But you know what? You're already over that. You know, you can go in there. You can have 7, 8 beers. You can have the hot dog station that Rhett said, the chili dog station. There's going to be a Bubba chicken sandwich with cheese and ketchup only. A kettle corn station.
What?
Dessert.
What?
They had last time shrimp.
What?
They had ravioli.
What?
Cannolis.
What?
Cheesecake.
What?
And they actually, last time they had a vodka girl for free.
Oh, hell yeah.
Exactly. All for $36.55. And now the way inflation is going these days, I don't know if you guys have been out to the restaurants lately, but let me tell you something. $36.55 is only going to get you 1 steak, 1 potato, and maybe a beer. Plus tip. Well, here you get all you can eat and all you can drink. Miller Lite, Bud Light.
What?
Wine.
What?
Soda.
What?
And water.
What?
And sometimes, you know what, your mixed drink guy might be pouring the beer, but you know what the mixed drink guy may do? He may hook you up.
What?
Just for a cheap tip. So you know what?
He may give you like 8 beers instead of the one that you asked for.
Exactly. But I'm telling you right now, you will have fun. Little Wilbur's Afterbird says he came out there and he had a lot of fun. And it is free parking. Free parking. We're going to be out there with the cream machine.
I mean, maybe not today because I know we're starting to wrap this thing up, but at some point, we got to get an official endorsement from Hootie because I know last time he was out there, he had a great time.
Oh, he had a super duper time. He had a chili dog.
And he doesn't even like baseball.
Yeah, he doesn't like baseball at all. He wanted to leave after 4 minutes being there. But you know what? His kids, who didn't think actually liked baseball, stuck around the whole time. They had that much fun. And they can't drink. But if you like to have a couple, beers and throw it back and enjoy a nice baseball game, in minor league baseball, you know what they get? They play tough. They play old school baseball, man. They get down and dirty because you know what? They're playing for their jobs.
And they're
not making a lot of money.
And there's no other sporting event in Tampa Bay aside from the one that I can think of a couple months from now where you get to pregame with the cream machine.
And Bubba, who was going to throw out the first pitch, but now his mom is throwing out the first pitch. And it's Bubba Army, man. Bubba Army is great. They're fun to hang out with. Come on and hang out at Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Trust me, you will have an amazing time. And if you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, we have 2 videos up there of us going to the game and getting down into the dugout club. And trust me, I've been to a lot of baseball stadiums. I've worked for a baseball team and a minor league team, and this is a fun event, and you will get your money's worth. If you literally, Ashley and I have talked about it. Instead of going out, why don't we just go to a Tarpons game for $36? We could literally get all you can eat. Good food, by the way. It is actually good food. And we can drink wine and beer, get in an Uber, get in a taxi. We can have a designated driver, get home quick. And you know what? It's really fun. Trust me, you will have a lot of fun. And the Bubba Army that I know has already bought a ticket are a blast. From the Nashes to Iggy to Critton Travis to a Riz His and Dr. Dan's Blumenaugen Maker to a tease. You will have a lot of fun. Dr. Dan's going to be out there too, the Diacos. So check it out. That was the longest promo ever on the Tampa Tarpons game. Rhett and I are going out there after this to tape a little commercial for everyone so that you can understand. You get your ticket. It's not in the AC, but you just walk 5 steps down.
Join us.
Yeah, and it's not even that hot. It's really not that hot. It actually has a nice breeze, and it's really nice.
Join us next week on the Tampa Tarpons infomercial show.
Yes, we will keep doing one every time, and hopefully Babyface. I wanted to ask Babyface before he stormed out of here.
I wonder if he'll be there.
Man. Well, I mean, he better be, right?
Yeah, that's true. I have to imagine there would be some repercussions if he missed that.
Oh, and Donkey Teeth is going to be there too. We can't forget Donkey Teeth. Hopefully Hootie who's ignoring all my phone calls and text messages, will be there. But you know what? I guarantee you have a fun time. If you don't have a fun time, then email Rhett and tell him you do not have a fun time, and he will take care of it. You won't get a refund, but just bitch to him all you want. It's Rhett BTLS.
Yeah, we'll read them and laugh at them.
At AOL.com. You know what? I think that will be probably how we end the show. It's been a great... He didn't play.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It's been a great 3 days of being on the air. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Lummy Sports Show with Babyface, who left early, with the followed up with the DaFilthy. We're going to go out, take some video.
We're going to do some more work, because there's always work to be done, Lummy.
Exactly. And we got the best of Thursday and Friday. Bubba interviewed Brett Favre. I mean, that just makes the whole week. We had Roger Stone on today. Monday, we'll be back. 6 a.m. Thank you, everyone. And don't forget, Bubba will be live doing his chicken sandwich review. Blitz and Anna will be live out in Daytona. I'll be live here and there in Tampa, going to the practices, going to the games. I'll probably run into a couple of you guys. Obviously, Hot Caro is going to be there, maybe a Daunting 9. Thank you, everyone. Have a great, and thank you, everyone, for a great start of August. Thank you, and have a great rest of your week and a great weekend. We will see you Monday. Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you, Lumpy.